We said we do a selfie. Okay. Come on. No, you do.
Good evening.
I'm
I'm Darrell Holmes. I was a resident of the 4th Ward. I've been a lifetime member of the Hyde Park community. I learned how to swim on 53rd Street at the YMCA. I jumped off the point many times while the water was contaminated. I was in the Boy Scouts at First Baptist Church. I'm a member of First Baptist Church. I'm a member of Push now. But I was gone for 20 plus years and just came back to Chicago. I met Ebony about a year and a half ago as a resident. I was a resident in the Newport condominiums on 4800 South Chicago Beach Drive. Ebony was giving a lecture giving some insight for free to the residents of South Shore, who were very concerned about their future in terms of the pending the presidential library, the gentrification, and all of the rumors and all the concerns about that. But Ebony came in and told the folks the truth. Take over. She is an advocate for the property owner. She's an advocate for the children. But I've got a thing I want to go through because I took a week to prepare it. Do you mind? May I?
Yes. No.
Ebony Lucas is smart. She is kind. She is fine. And she is important. She is important. Let me break that down.
Break it down.
Ebony is smart.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Ebony has a bachelor's degree. She's a teacher. She has a bachelor's degree in elementary education. Taught first, wait a minute, let me get to it. Okay. Taught elementary school. Taught first graders.
Okay.
All right, she's smart.
Yeah.
She knows the children.
Right.
She teaches the children.
Right.
We need our teachers. We need to support them. Teachers are not the fault of what's going on in Chicago. They're victims just like the rest of us. But you blame everything on the cops and the teachers. All right.
Okay.
Ebony also has a master's degree in nonprofit management. She knows how to put together deals with the public sector, the private sector, the civic sector, and the fourth estate, the press. She knows that. We need that downtown. Ebony has a Juris Doctorate from the University of Michigan Law School. Okay, she's smart. She has a real estate practice on 47th Street, which specializes in creating and preserving home ownership. Home ownership, the essence of freedom in this town.
Right.
I'm going to get into that in a minute as we go forward. But she's worked in municipal government, in the building and zoning departments. Building and zoning is what determines what goes up and what goes down in this city and where it goes. Ebony has been there. Let me tell you something about me, too. I did do 22 years in the Army. I work for the Navy now, but I'm an urban planner by training. I work for Cook County in the Bureau of Economic Development. I've been a city planner, and I've been a council member. So I value what she's volunteering to do as service. She's a servant, and she's a leader. Let me go on. She's smart. All right. I survived a stroke too, y'all, so I'm moving as best I can. In 2015, Ebony was one of the finalists in the MSNBC Grow Your Value competition. How many of you are aware of that? She was a national contestant trying to advocate for young people and community development. She was not the finalist. She was a finalist, but she did not win. But she was able to participate in a very special executive development program sponsored by MSNBC and Johnson and other companies. She spent a good time in Florida, as I understand it, learning more about the American system and the global system and how to integrate her values and her projects into the mainstream. So this is a very competent, qualified, smart person. She also knows finance, grantsmanship, did I mention that? And economic development. It's all about economic development. We are lacking in the 4th Ward. Even though the 4th Ward is a prosperous ward, there's still problems. And Ebony is just the person that we need to send downtown to address that. Let me digress for a moment. In the Newport, one of my neighbors was Lerone Bennett Jr. How many of you know who Lerone Bennett is? He was a senior editor and author of Ebony. Lerone will be 88 years old tomorrow. But one of the things he talked about, and I'm going to digress again too. Lerone suggests that Chicago has been remiss in not recognizing Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, who discovered Chicago.
Right. First class.
And he settled here and had the first business here.
Right.
There is a little statue downtown on the bridge
Right.
that no tourists or nobody else knows what it is. I mean, they got Jack Brickhouse. They got a whole plaza down there, Jack Brickhouse.
Right.
But Lerone is very concerned about that. His birthday party is tomorrow, and I've invited Ebony to go with me. Lerone is suffering, but he is a wonderful historian and a resident of 4th Ward. Speaking of Haiti, du Sable was from Haiti. Haiti, we need to invoke the memories of not memories of the Haitian people, but they've just suffered the hurricane. 900,000 folks are displaced. You need to think about them. They are our neighbors. Ebony is fine. I said smart, fine. Okay, she's wife to Garland. Is Garland here? Yep. Where's that? Where's Garland? Stand up. There he is. She's fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. She's a mother. She's a mother to Caleb, Christian, Christina, Camila, and Camus. Are they here? Come out. I'm sorry. Christina's here. Where you at, Christina? Okay, all right.
She's here.
All right.
Took Christian out.
She's the founder and leader of a job readiness program for teens. She's acting. She doesn't just talk stuff, she does stuff. And she's a woman of great faith. She's of apostolic persuasion, and that's good. She's a woman of great faith. These folks believe their faith. They act on their faith. She is fine. Now, let me talk about the importance. Few industries have been so closely connected to the development of Chicago and the daily lives of its citizens as real estate. This is a real estate city, property. That's why du Sable settled here. It's a conjunction of Lake Michigan, Chicago River, and they went on up, and it all developed, the Midwest developed behind Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable settling this place. And there's no credit for it. But that's the nature of this business. Ebony is a real estate lawyer.
Right.
And she represents us. How did I meet Ebony? We were having mess in the Newport. Y'all know where the Newport is? Beautiful place. We've got management that abuses us. I don't live there anymore. I had to go up north. Way up north, almost in Wisconsin. But we retained Ebony. We asked her to come and meet with an ad hoc committee of folks that were concerned about management. They were spending our money. They were doing things that we thought were necessary. They were very secretive about it. Ebony could have come in and charged us $200 a month. I mean, just to retain her to tell us what to do. She said, take over the board.
Right.
Didn't you? Take over the board and call me when you get confused. Ain't charged us a dime.
Right.
But she's important because that's how she's going to run downtown.
Right.
But real estate is a part of it. In conjunction with real estate is a part of the whole governmental regulation process. The policies, the regulations, the intervention, the whole real estate industry, and it exerts enormous influence over what's going on in this city. Hyde Park is ground zero. Hyde Park in Kenwood is ground zero. The Presidential Library, where's that going? Down the street.
Right.
The University of Chicago, God bless them. God bless them. But they ain't necessarily on our side. Ebony knows how to talk to them. And we have to communicate with them. She represents the property owners. She represents the children. She represents the families. Ebony has told me, and I know this for a fact, we need more affordable housing, not only in the 4th Ward, but all throughout the city. I'm not talking about subsidized housing. I'm talking about affordable housing. We need to expand our tax base. We need people not to pay half of their salaries on their living arrangement, whether it's rental or mortgage. They need to spend about a third.
Right.
Okay, Ebony is the one that goes down there to articulate that. So we do need more affordable housing, and I assume that Ebony is going to do that. Now, I'm at the end of my thing. Ebony Lucas has a personal, professional, and civic intelligence and commitment to represent the people of the 4th Ward in the right way. I'm going to invoke the memory of our ancestors. And Harold Washington, representing the 4th Ward, right? Harold lived in the 4th Ward. Leon Dupre, some of you old folks remember Leon, right? Right? Progressive, fought downtown.
Right.
Judge Mikva, Abner Mikva, we just lost him. But I'm invoking, and Harold Washington, but I'm invoking Ebony in that spirit.
Right.
When she goes downtown, they're going to say, well, who sent you? You know how we do in Chicago.
Right.
Who sent you?
Right.
We sent her.
Right. We sent her.
When they ask her who sent her, what we going to say? We sent her. What we going to say?
We sent her.
What we going to say?
We sent her.
Ebony.
All right. So you were hired. Absolutely.
Thank you all very much for coming tonight, and a very, very special thank you to all of the volunteers that have dedicated so many hours to working on a campaign and really working to make the 4th Ward better. And of course I have to thank my husband and my family who are supporters. My family is here from Detroit. My family lives almost in the 4th Ward. We have a lot of people that live across the street from the 4th Ward. And so, my first introduction to Chicago was when I was in college. And, well, I shouldn't say that was my first introduction. I visited Chicago as a child quite a bit. But my first introduction to really seeing life in Chicago was when I was at University of Michigan. I started an organization called Black Volunteer Network. And it was a group of black students who wanted to volunteer in various communities. And I did a program that was a spring break trip to Chicago to volunteer in the Robert Taylor homes. And we worked at the Boys and Girls Club. And I saw things that I had never seen before. And I was just introduced to a different side of life that I just really had never seen. And I knew that Chicago was a place that I wanted to move to and that I really wanted to make a difference there. Right. So when I got the opportunity to move to Chicago, I was super excited, and I'm so happy and so blessed that I made the decision to move here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems now that all of my experiences throughout my career and my volunteer experiences, teaching and working with nonprofit organizations and being an attorney and learning about housing in Chicago, working with Taft on various projects, I've learned a lot, enough to make me the most qualified candidate for the alderman of the 4th Ward. My vision for the 4th Ward is to create a safe, engaged, diverse community with access to resources that enhance the quality of life for 4th Ward residents. I saw this morning on Facebook that there were 11 shootings between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. last night, and 7 people were killed. And I don't think that we can address anything in the city of Chicago without addressing the violence that's going on. And as far as I can see, and I read the minutes from the city council meetings, it's not being addressed. So one of the first things that I want to do as alderman is to introduce an ordinance that has a mandatory minimum sentence for people who are caught with illegal guns. I think it's a necessary step that we have to take in order to make our community safe for our children. As alderman, I also want to create more opportunities for youth engagement and jobs. I plan to develop a resource guide so that we can partner nonprofit and faith-based organizations with schools so that we can start to improve the public schools and bring back some of the programs that are being removed, particularly the arts, which are essential to our children's education.
Yes, absolutely.
I also want to create a community advisory board to work with block clubs, seniors, and neighborhood associations to implement commercial development from 31st to 47th Street and along Cottage Grove. This will bring jobs and amenities to the 4th Ward that are much needed. This week I actually attended the Chicago Community Loan Fund's 25th anniversary, where they committed millions of dollars to developing commercial retail in the South Side. And this is an opportunity for the Fourth Ward. And I think between the TIFs and programs like the Chicago Community Loan Fund, the resources are there. We just need an alderman who will focus on these areas, understand the need, and take the necessary steps to be an advocate for our community. As we develop our community and improve our schools, I also want to make sure that we include affordable housing as a part of our development plan. There are seniors, young people, and working families in our community who don't qualify for subsidized housing and can't afford to pay $2,000 a month for rent. We need to make sure that we don't price out members of our community and that we continue to build in a manner that maintains the diversity that makes the Fourth Ward unique and a desirable place to live.